Welcome to the fundamentals of bodily care. The study of chemistry is crucial to the understanding of the nutritional sciences, assisting in the understanding of the organization of the elemental atoms that form into molecules, that form into the macromolecules, for example, the well-known proteins, carbohydrates, and the lipids. These macromolecules are basic to life. However, these molecules themselves cannot function in useful ways. Rather, they are the building blocks, bonding to form into our cells, the individual structural and functional bodily subunits that will create our tissues. These tissues form into the organs that form the functioning systems of our body, for example, the cardiovascular system. Amazing, yes, as this entire functioning system is created from, and therefore fueled by, the nutrients that are contained within our foods. For some additional understanding, there are approximately 92 naturally occurring elements, 20 of which are essential for our human bodily health. In fact, 6 elements, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus, account for approximately 99% of our total bodily weight. These important elements go forth, providing the considered raw materials that are needed to form the very large, complex molecules that are found within our living bodily system. Our bodily cells are often described as microscopic cities, full of action, as each of these individual cells go forth and carry out specialized functions. This happens through the activities of structures within each cell called organelles. These organelles are comparable to our large bodily organs that carry out our bodily functions. Structurally, each cell is surrounded by the cellular membrane that is containing the cytoplasm that holds all the cellular organelles and the nucleus of the cell, encasing all while also allowing for the individual cell and its very own functions. With all the individualized cell structures that make up the tissues, that make up our organs, that make up the organ systems, that carry out our lives as we know them to be, literally requires each and every cell in our body to maintain its very own structure through what has come to be termed metabolism, the sum of all the chemical processes that go on continuously inside our bodies. For the organized learning programs, these biochemical processes have been arranged in a system of chemical pathways and the following reactions that have come to be termed cellular respiration. These organized metabolic reactions take place in the cells of a living body that go forth converting the biochemical energy held within the chemical bonds of the nutrients that are found within our foods. Chemical bonds are the attractive forces between atoms that allow for the formation of millions of different molecules. Without these energetic bonds, our world would literally fall apart. Therefore, our individual cells go forth maintaining their own structure with the use of these biochemical processes, carried out with the nutrients within our foods, obviously maintains our tissues, therefore provides the maintenance of our organ systems and our body as a whole. Once consumed, to nourish the body, our digestive system disassembles the foods and the complex molecules that are found there within into the simple, more basic nutrient chemical components that are then taken up into our blood circulation. Circulating through our body, our blood is delivering the nutrient chemical requirements to our cells. For these metabolic reactions to even occur, nutrient chemicals must enter our cells, taken up through the cellular membrane of each individual cell, as nutrients and other substances that are outside of the cells can be transported across the cellular membrane, entering the interior of the cell, where the catabolic processing can occur. For a bit of clarity, the catabolic metabolism is the set of metabolic pathways that break down the large nutrient molecules that have been consumed within our foods. These complex molecules are broken down to release the energy needed for the various cellular functions that are taking place within our body that create our physical self. The nutrients that are regularly used include the monosaccharides, or preferably sugars, the primary energy-yielding molecules releasing cellular energy for the maintenance of cell structures, which will now require the included amino acids, fatty acids, and nucleic acids that become broken down and reassembled into the necessary biomolecules required for the individual cellular maintenance. Cellular respiration is the aerobic process by which living cells break down glucose molecules, releasing while converting the energy within those bonds into adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. This is an enzymatic process by which glucose, with the help of the presence of oxygen, produces this cellular energy currency molecule, which is then used to drive the cellular functions that allow for the cellular maintenance to occur. Glucose, the body's primary energy-yielding molecule, is a simple sugar, a monosaccharide, a subcategory of carbohydrates. As mentioned, glucose is broken down, driven by the enzymatic processes. Enzymes are a group of molecules that are proteins that help to speed up chemical reactions without being consumed within the reaction themselves. These protein enzymes are genetically produced, so they assist many biochemical reactions taking place within our body and degrade over time. These enzymes assist many biological reactions. In this mentioned scenario, they are assisting the catabolic metabolism that goes forth breaking down glucose to release the energy held within the bonds of the molecule. This forms ATP, adenosine triphosphate. ATP powers our bodily behaviors, movements, and the anabolic metabolism, the set of metabolic pathways that constructs molecules from smaller, broken down units, building the necessary molecules that create our cellular structures, and therefore bodily tissues. Every cell in our body daily maintains its very own structure, termed metabolism, the balancing act of the catabolic breakdown, the metabolic release of energy for the anabolic use, growing while maintaining the bodily structures. Many of our diseases are known to be the result of the wrong balance of the essential nutrients within the body. Therefore, adjusting the diet to eliminate the so-called junk foods, focusing on high-quality foods while supplementing with the essential vitamins, minerals, trace nutrients, amino acids, and polyunsaturated fatty acids, all can go forth correcting the chemical imbalances of disease. There is no argument that nutrition is crucial to one's health. Nutritional deficiencies have posed a problem worldwide. However, today's abundance serves more towards poor dietary choices that predispose us to our modern-day diseases. Nutrients have traditionally been described as the substances within our foods required or preferably used by the body for one of the following. This includes energy, the bodily structure, or the regulation of the chemical reactions that are taking place within the body. For example, carbohydrates are the bodily preferred energy-yielding molecule, while calcium and phosphorus are important building blocks for the teeth and bones. The vitamins and minerals serve essential roles within the chemical reactions taking place within the cells. There are so many more nutrient chemical compounds that can be found there within our foods that are now known to have various health benefits. Therefore, the definition of nutrient can be considered to be evolving, all the while expanding the knowledge regarding the thousands of nutrient chemicals that are found within our foods that go forth promoting health and well-being. Nutrient chemicals considered to be essential must be obtained from one's diet, as our body is unable to produce these molecules at all or within the necessary amounts needed for our proper bodily functions. The non-essential nutrients are the chemical compounds that are able to be produced within the body, if not obtained from our diets, within the proper functional quantities. Therefore, it may be stated that you do not necessarily need to consume the non-essential nutrients, as your body is able to produce them in the amounts needed. Most of our foods do contain a mixture of the essential and non-essential nutrients. However, the nutrients within our foods can also be classified regarding how much the body is actually in need of the nutrient. Therefore, the macronutrients are the class of nutrients that are needed to be consumed in the diet in relatively large quantities. For example, we have water, the carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids, or preferably fats, are all considered to be the macronutrients. Furthermore, now we can take into consideration the vitamins and minerals, which are considered the micronutrients, as these nutrients are required by the body in relatively small amounts. For additional clarity, the micronutrients are required within the micrograms or milligrams each day. Unfortunately, you will discover when examining almost any food label that not all the compounds that are there within our foods are actual nutrients. An example of this are the artificial colors, as your body does not use these compounds to support any of the basic physiological functions that are taking place within our bodies. In general, scientists classify nutrients into 6 basic categories based on their chemical structure and composition. Therefore, we have the carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, water, vitamins, and the minerals. As previously mentioned, the definition of nutrient can be considered to be evolving, as the knowledge regarding the nutrient chemicals that are found there within our foods is expanding. Therefore, we are now going to bring into the tutorial the phytonutrients. Phytonutrients, also known as phytochemicals, are beneficial substances that are found within the plant foods. Phytonutrients benefit human health, reducing the risk of developing certain diseases. Furthermore, zoonutrients, also known as the zoochemicals, are unique compounds found within the animal foods that benefit human health above basic energy and the essential nutrients. For example, zoonutrients include a variety of non-essential lipids that are found in fish and dairy products that are believed to reduce the risk of heart disease. The nutrients that come from our foods are greatly needed by our body, providing the maintenance of our structure, regulating the chemical reactions taking place within the cells of the body, which is also known as our metabolism, and of course to supply the energy for all of our activities. Carbohydrates consist of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms and serve a variety of functions within the body. Furthermore, there are many different types of carbohydrates. Therefore, those that are found in the starchy foods, such as rice and pasta, are very different from those that are found in the fruits and the sweeter desserts. Out of the many carbohydrates that exist, the considered most important is glucose, because most of our cells use glucose as their primary source of energy. However, our body uses the carbohydrates for many other very important purposes. For example, some of the carbohydrates needed are for the production of our genetic material, or preferably our DNA. For clarity, DNA is responsible for the production of cellular proteins that go forth and now serve many important cellular functions. Furthermore, other carbohydrates, such as the dietary fibers, play important roles in maintaining the health of our digestive system and is believed to help reduce the risk of many diseases. The importance of the carbohydrates is ongoing, as they serve important structural and then regulating roles, as they are components of the cellular membranes that surround the trillions of cells that make up our human body. Most of those carbohydrates you will find linked to the membrane-bound proteins known as glycoproteins. They carry short chains of those carbohydrates consisting of several sugar molecules that project outward from the cellular membrane surface, having several functions such as cellular adhesion and important specific cellular identification functions within our immune system. Protein is abundant in many foods, including meat and legumes. Most protein consists of carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and hydrogen atoms. However, some also contain sulfur and selenium atoms as well. There are thousands of proteins that make up our body, while having many roles as well. Serving as a source of energy, however, protein is a major structural material, making up many tissues of our body, including muscle, bone, and our skin. Proteins allow us to move, functions that support our central nervous system, keeping us healthy by fulfilling those roles discussed within the immune system. Furthermore, they regulate many chemical reactions that are taking place there within the body. Fats and lipids are essential components of the homeostatic, or preferably the balancing functions that are taking place within our body. Lipids contribute to some of the body's most important processes. Lipids include a variety of oils and fats that are found in our foods, in general consisting of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen atoms, while providing large amounts of energy for our cellular processes. Lipids are fatty, waxy, or oily compounds that are soluble in the fatty solvents, while insoluble in the watery environments. Lipids include fats and oils, triglycerides, phospholipids, waxes, and steroids. Water is the essence of life itself. Without water, there would be no life. And it is made up of oxygen and hydrogen atoms, making up approximately 60% of your total bodily weight. We all consume water every day, whether it be within our beverages or within the foods that we eat. The functions of water are quite varied and extremely important. This will include the transport of nutrients and gases, and therefore the transport of waste products as well. Vitamins regulate the chemical reactions taking place within the cells, while also promote our growth and development, having a variety of chemical structures and are abundant in most naturally occurring foods, especially our fruits, vegetables, and grains. They all contain carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen atoms, while some vitamins also contain substances such as phosphorus and sulfur atoms as well. Some of those vitamins are known as the antioxidants, protecting our body from the damaging effects of many toxic compounds. Vitamins are not used directly for our bodily structure or energy. However, they play important roles in those chemical processes that are required for the building and the maintaining of the tissues that make up our body, as well as the releasing of the energy contained within the macronutrients that we consume. Furthermore, the minerals, such as iron, selenium, and sodium, are substances that occur naturally within our earth. In the human body, however, all the inorganic substances, with the exception of water, are called minerals. There are at least 16 minerals that are essential nutrients, each providing their own specific purpose. For example, calcium, abundant in the dairy products, providing the matrix for a major structural component in our body, the skeletal system. Like the vitamins, minerals are not used directly for energy, although they are involved in many energy-producing reactions. Other minerals, such as sodium, you frequently add to your foods through your table salt, which goes forth and regulates a variety of bodily processes. Sodium is a positively charged ion that assists the functions of our central nervous system. Life indeed would not be possible without the nourishment of our foods. However, the quality of our life greatly depends on which foods we do choose to eat. Our chosen foods greatly influences both our immediate health and our risk for disease as we all grow in age. Let us, within this tutorial, expand our knowledge regarding the phytochemicals, which can also be called the phytonutrients. The phytochemicals are biologically active elements that are naturally found within the plant foods. While their presence will obviously vary within the individual plants. However, phytochemicals have been consumed throughout history by civilizations around the world. They play what can be viewed as a determining role in our human health through multiple pathways that biochemically influence our everyday health. therefore our long-term health as we all grow in age. A few examples of this will be through antioxidant activities, which is an excellent example of the useful benefits that the phytochemicals do deliver. Antioxidants are compounds that stop the chemical reactions that go forth producing free radicals. For some clarity, in chemistry, a free radical is an atom, molecule, or even an ion that has an unpaired electron that is highly chemically reactive with other compounds, therefore has a short lifespan as it will chemically react, potentially damaging our cellular structures. Furthermore, phytochemicals increase the activity of many enzymes that break down toxic chemicals that can damage our cells. Simply put, enzymes are a group of molecules that are actual proteins that speed up the chemical reactions without being consumed or even changed within the reaction themselves. Enzymes carry out the chemical reactions that are required within the living body at an amazingly high rate. For a bit of clarity, these are the chemical reactions that keep us alive, therefore, so-called, our metabolism, which literally relies on the work that these enzymes go forth and carry out. Enzyme activity is classified by their extraordinary performance and specificity. Without the enzyme, life would not be possible, as in many various chemical situations, the enzyme will produce this chemical reaction a few million times faster than it otherwise would. To continue, the phytochemicals have major beneficial impact on the daily DNA metabolism, which directly affects the production of the cellular functioning proteins that actually carry out the cellular functions that create our cellular capabilities. Nutritional nutrients in our genes interact daily, playing a vital role in the creation of the internal environment of the body. Our environmental exposure, whether this is through the foods that we eat, the air that we breathe, the stress that we experience, physically and emotionally, all go forth, creating the chemistry that is there within our blood, from which the body, through genetic expression, adapts to. The macro and micronutrients in our foods have long been thought to be the essential components for human health. However, phytochemicals have emerged as important cellular signaling pathways for genetic protein production. Specifically, phytonutrients are the plant biologically active components that can go forth, supporting our human biology. Some of the important bioactive phytonutrients include the polyphenols, which are secondary metabolites within the plant's biochemistry that are generally involved in the defense against the ultraviolet radiation or even aggressive pathogens. Importantly here, the antioxidant potential within the dietary plant polyphenols has emerged with some great interest. Polyphenols are the naturally occurring compounds found largely in the vegetables and fruits like grapes, apples, pears, and the berries. Within these foods, the polyphenols go forth contributing to the bitterness, astringency, the plant pigmentation, flavor, odors, and the oxidative stability. There are more than 25,000 phytonutrients that are found in our plant foods. Therefore, to continue, we can bring in the terpenes, which are also known as the terpenoids, which are the largest and most diverse group of the naturally occurring compounds. Terpenes can be found mostly within the plants, while forming a major constituent of their essential oils. Terpenes have a wide range of the medicinal uses, and the common plant sources of terpenes are the herbal teas, oregano, a well-known medicinal, cannabis, and citrus fruits such as lemon and oranges. Terpenes are a large group of volatile, unsaturated hydrocarbons that are there within the oils of much of our vegetation. These terpenes are within the aromas and flavors, going forth to promote the natural production within the plant's physiology, fighting off bacteria, insects, fungi, and assisting in the protection against all the environmental stresses. Furthermore, to continue on the phytonutrients, there are more than 600 carotenoids providing the pigments that color our world. This will include the yellow, orange, and red colors in the fruits and the vegetables. Carotenoids behave as the antioxidant within our body, tackling those harmful free radicals discussed earlier that go forth damaging our tissues that make up the body. Carotenoids such as alpha-carotene, beta-carotene, and beta-cryptoxanthin all can be converted into vitamin A, therefore assists our immune system functions, along with great importance for our vision. The pigmented yellow and orange foods such as carrots are excellent sources of the alpha and beta-carotene. Additionally, lycopene, a carotenoid that offers the variations of red to even the pink pigmentations. Lycopene is believed to be one of the most important and useful carotenoids found in nature. It is a potent antioxidant that has been shown to play critical roles in the prevention of many diseases. Furthermore, resveratrol, this natural polyphenol, has been detected in more than 70 plant species, especially the grapes, their skins, and the seeds. Resveratrol is very effective against all pathogens. Therefore, this shall include the bacteria and the fungi. Occurring naturally through the plant's own physiology, resveratrol possesses a very high antioxidant potential, while has also shown some anti-tumor activity. Moving on to the flavonoids, which are called secondary metabolites in the plant biochemistry, having various structures that are comparative to the polyphenols. These compounds are widely distributed in the leaves, seeds, bark, and the flowers of the plants. They correspond to the pigments, forming all the different colors that go forth now to perform different functions, such as protection from ultraviolet radiation, defense from the environmental stresses, and from bacterial and fungal phytopathogens. Limonoids are considered one of the most health-benefiting bioactive components of citrus fruits. The citrus limonoids can be described as highly oxygenated terpenoid secondary metabolites that are found mostly in the seeds, fruit, and peels of the citrus fruits such as the lemons, limes, and the oranges. The limonoids are important elements of the citrus fruits. One of the roles of the various limonoids is as a pest deterrent, abundant in the young leaves and fruit, protecting them from pathogen attack. Limonoids are the leading cause of the bitterness in the citrus fruits and became consumed for their therapeutic purposes. Moving on to the phytosterols. For a bit of clarity, the sterols are a subgroup of steroids that are necessary for all the eukaryotic cells. Our human eukaryotic cells are much more complicated than those of the prokaryotic, simplistic cellular organisms like the bacteria. Our human eukaryotic cells are packed with an array of cellular structures that play out the necessary roles of energy balance, metabolism, and therefore gene expression. The plant sterols are a natural part of the plant's cellular membrane. They function to regulate the membrane fluidity and permeability. The phytosterols stimulate the plant's cellular membrane-bound enzymes, those protein catalysts that go forth, speeding up the plant's cellular biochemical reactions. The phytosterol molecular structure is very comparable to that of cholesterol. Therefore, when consumed together, the phytosterol has the ability to actually interfere with the intestinal absorption of the dietary cholesterol, simply by the displacement of the cholesterol, inhibiting the absorption thereof. These sterols do occur in the cellular membranes of plants and animals, and can be termed the phytosterols and zoosterols. Now for the discussion of the phytoestrogens, which are naturally occurring plant compounds that are structurally and functionally similar to that of the hormonal estrogens and their bioactive metabolites. One of the major class is the lignans, which are components of the plant cell walls, therefore found in many of the fiber-rich foods, such as berries, flaxseed, grains, nuts, and fruits. When we consume these high-fiber foods, some of the plant lignans go forth to be converted by our intestinal flora, transforming these plant lignans into the now mammalian enterolignans. These now converted enterolignans act as antioxidants, chemically binding to the free radicals, detoxifying along with maintaining the internal environment of our body. Furthermore, phytoestrogens can bind to the estrogen cellular receptors, assisting in cellular signals that maintain the tissues of a woman's reproductive system, high dietary lignin consumption is connected to a reduced risk of breast cancer in women. The nutrients we consume and their impact on our health is of crucial importance. And as you begin your journey of understanding the fundamentals of bodily health, ask yourself, do I choose my foods wisely? Furthermore, what are the changes I can make to ensure my own optimal health?